It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish
365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach at Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
Welcome into Irish 365, episode 7. We've got Northern Illinois University NIU this week. NIU preview. So let's get right into it. NIU last year, we kind of went over a season preview, but just a friendly reminder, finished 7-6 last year and got their first bowl win under Coach Thomas Hammock, who's entering his 4th season, I believe we said.
I think it's his 4th.
4th season at NIU. Got his first bowl win last year. And Northern Illinois played Western Illinois, good old Illinois rivalry week 1, but got a pretty good result out there.
Yeah, NIU played really well. I didn't see the game. I didn't see the highlights. I've just read about it. We're big Thomas Hammock fans. We support a 260 guy coaching. Yeah. But, yeah, I think second play of the game, NIU scored.
Yeah.
And it was on from there.
54-15 rout of Western Illinois. NIU, obviously a team that not many people obviously don't know with some of these smaller schools. Not as much people doing summer stuff over them, scouting them year round, but definitely made a nice statement win. That could have easily been a game that they could have won by 10 points, it seems like. So it's definitely a big result for NIU past weekend, and a rival against Western Illinois.
Yeah, and NIU's not a team to take lightly. I think they're referring to this game as what they call a boneyard game.
Yeah.
And anytime they think they can knock off a Power 5 team or Notre Dame, they consider it a boneyard game. So
Power 4 team.
A Power 4 team. But so they're coming in confident, is all I can say. They've already put it on their social. It's a boneyard game. But, you look at what they did week 1.
Yeah.
A lot of confidence, right?
Yeah, I know you've got a bunch of stats. And
so, yeah, let's run through this.
Run through them real quick for the people.
So their quarterback, 18 for 20, 300 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, not a bad game.
That's not bad. Now, their running back, Brown, he's a Doak Walker watch list preseason guy.
Yep.
You got their wide receiver Rudolph, 171 yards on 6 plays.
4 receptions, right?
4 receptions for 104, 2 rushing plays for 67 yards.
Yeah.
Not a bad day. But when you look at what they've got, 18 returning starters, they've got 11 players who have 40 games or more experience. They've got 32 seniors on this roster. 73 players actually played in the game. 73 players played in the game last week.
Yeah.
They were going deep in the rotation.
Anybody dressed 85, correct?
Yeah, dress 85. 73 got on the field. Yeah. You got 11 players that caught a pass last week. You got 5 players that had 40-plus yards rushing. You had, 28 players that recorded the tackle.
Yep.
I think there are 5 linemen combined for 119 starts, 177 games total. Just a lot of experience. And I think what they end up with 706 yards total offense last week.
Something ridiculous, yeah.
So, it's a team.
And it's not just starters, like you said. They went deep into the bench there.
Yeah, it wasn't like we got 4 guys who were good. They played 73 guys. Yeah. 11 guys with receptions. Team. 5 guys 40-plus yards rushing, 11 guys with receptions. It's So they're talented and they're deep. They got a lot of experience. It's not going to be it's not going to be a team that's going to go away easy. It's not a team that Notre Dame can afford to look past.
No, definitely not.
They will definitely come up and smack you if you're not paying attention. And they got a coach he's got house money.
Yep.
No one's expecting him to win.
Yep.
He's going to get paid. I don't know how much money to make the contract this year. Hey, they're getting paid to play us, and if they can win, oh man.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is say, hey, we've done it before. Look at who's beat Notre Dame the last 3 years.
Yeah.
We've lost some games we shouldn't.
Right.
Now, we've been playing better.
Yes, we haven't got that week 1 win in the past couple of years and lost those games, like when we lost to Ohio State and then lost to Marshall.
Yeah.
But we now beat Texas A&M, so are we looking past this NIU team?
Is it a trap game?
Yeah.
Are we now looking past and saying, oh, we don't have to play anybody until USC?
Yeah.
Because Florida State is not appearing to be what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah, hope we didn't bet on them to win the ACC.
I think Florida State probably took Georgia Tech a little lightly.
Yeah.
And, maybe got a little too close to the Guinness taps when they were in Ireland. And
Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of a hangover, going into this week.
Yeah.
And, we'll see how good the coach is. The coach is either going to lose the team or he's going to regain it. Florida State's a ton of athletes, but
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing because we're talking about this more from the Texas A&M perspective after if they obviously how season changing that win against Notre Dame could have been for them under a new head coach and everything.
yeah,
But now how did they respond after that loss? But that's really happened to Florida State. You can see they lose a game in Ireland they probably shouldn't have lost to Georgia Tech,
yeah.
and then they spiral out of control and lose to Boston College.
Boston College. Georgia Tech, we feel Georgia Tech's much better than people give credit for. I still don't think Georgia Tech was so good they should have beat Florida State.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised. But Boston College has no business beating Florida State.
Yeah.
They're just no disrespect to BC, but just they shouldn't have beat Florida State. They don't have business doing that. So I think that's more in Florida State. And I think if you're Elko, A&M, you lost a close game and it, you got all kinds of stuff to build on. Guys, hey, we were right there. This is number 5 team in the country.
Yeah.
And you could have beat them. They didn't get the win until 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
It was under 2 minutes when they scored. So I think Elko's a good coach. He's going to.
You'll have it figured out. Yeah.
But yeah, Florida State, man, DJU, is his career over?
Yeah. I mean, it should have been over, I think, probably after Oregon State, it seems like, huh?
Well, I mean, you go back to his 2020 when he was at Clemson and he was the next greatest thing coming and NFL lock. And now maybe you better learn to play tight end.
Yeah.
I don't know what position, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it to the NFL as a quarterback.
It's going to sell some great insurance down the road here, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So he might be the guy to hit up if you're looking to buy a car because as talented as he is, it's not coming together for that poor kid.
So just a Florida State ticket update. So when we did this preview, it was $305 was the cheapest to get in. We're now down in that $260 range.
Oh, yeah.
So it's dropped about $45, and we're still quite a ways away from that game for an 0-2 Florida State team. So it's just interesting to keep a track on that ticket market because, I mean, it's still the only night game this year at Notre Dame, so I think it'll be a more expensive game.
Oh.
But it's just interesting to see that ticket price drop because this was like the game this year.
But we talked about it. We both said in the preview that we would not be surprised if Florida State and USC came in at 500.
Yeah.
We didn't think they would, but wouldn't be surprised. So
yeah.
I think those are some emotional teams. I thought it was pretty interesting. I saw Herb Street on the Pat Mack show.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Lincoln Riley had a tough time coaching Caleb Williams. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And his whole theory behind that was Caleb Williams did so much stuff off script that Lincoln Riley was thinking 3 steps ahead, but he was always wrong because Caleb Williams would either lose 20 yards or gain 40 yards. It was never anticipated. So it'll be interesting to see if that theory plays out and if USC stays as hot as they are because I would love to go out to USC for a top 5, top 10 matchup.
I've said this. I want USC to be good. As much as I don't like them, I would love for this Notre Dame because it seems like during my whole life, it's either been USC was dominant those first 10 years of my life, and then Notre Dame's just been dominating, which I'm not complaining about these last 10.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good. It's good for us, and it's good for the rivalry. And we talk about the rivalry. USC is a team that we respect in the rivalry.
Yeah,
but we want to beat them, but we respect them in the rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'd love to see a top 5 matchup with us and USC to end the season. That would just be epic. And hey, if Riley Leonard has a great season, he starts putting up stats. And because I think A&M was a much tougher team to put up stats on for a quarterback. We'll talk about the preview here at NIU. I'm hoping to see the breakout in the offense, but who knows? He puts up some stats, and we go into that game undefeated.
Yeah.
If USC comes in undefeated, I mean, that's a game where Riley Leonard get himself an invite to New York and maybe win a trophy.
Yeah.
At the end of the season.
So I don't know if you saw this stat though. So coming out of this weekend, I saw this stat. I think it was Sunday. So after Monday, 5 teams have won a ranked matchup.
Yeah.
It was Georgia, and now you've got Boston College won a ranked matchup because Florida State's not in the ranking now, but
we're at the time.
And then the other 3: Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and USC. So 3, it's Notre Dame plus 2 opponents in the 5 teams that have won ranked matchups this year. So that's strength of schedule. I know people have been hating on it. Slowly creeping up, it'll be a little bit better.
But hey,
we'll see if it happens. If it stays tight.
Every year, it's teams you expect to be good turn out not to be, and teams you expect to be really good, or teams you expect to not be so good turn out to be good. So I think Georgia Tech's gonna be one of those teams. That's a program we talked about. It's on the rise, and I think maybe it all comes together. They may be a tough opponent. I'm more happy now it's on a neutral site because I think that'll allow more Notre Dame fans to
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
And hey, one of the things about the A&M game I thought was interesting. There was probably 10% Notre Dame fans.
There's definitely. I saw a lot of Notre Dame fans around campus, and
Yeah, I mean, but I thought the interesting thing about that home field advantage wasn't as great as you would think it is because the A&M fans were loud when A&M was on offense.
Yeah.
Not as loud as they were when Notre Dame was on offense.
Yeah.
But they were still loud. I was
Yeah.
like, little football IQ there. But I think
Yeah.
that's kind of it. When you get to Mercedes-Benz Stadium against Georgia Tech later in the year,
yeah,
you're not going to have that advantage of the home field.
Yeah.
There's going to be loud both teams on offense because I think there'll be a large, especially if we continue to win.
Yeah.
Going into that game, I think there's going to be a lot of Southeast Notre Dame fans are going to travel a few miles to come watch that game.
Yeah.
So winning brings out the fans. Those casual fans become more frequent, so they turn into seat buyers. So
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. I mean, if you're NIU, I mean, you've got a ton of talent coming back, ton of experience. I mean, you got a game plan, right? You got to figure out. And Hammock's going to have a game plan.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going to want to beat this team. Boneyard, as they refer to it. It's a boneyard game. So they're coming to collect some bones and bury the Irish. That's their plan. So how would he get there, right?
Yeah. So I think we're kind of talking about this pre-show. If you're NIU, you just got to hang around, right?
Yeah.
You can't win that game. You can't win this game in the first quarter, the second quarter. You can't win it. Yeah. But you for sure can't lose it.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to stay close, get it the fourth quarter, maybe
give yourself
a
chance. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because their quarterback played great. 18 for 20. They had 600 yards of offense.
Yeah.
11 guys receiving. I don't think the Western Illinois defensive backs are anywhere close to our second string, let alone our third string. I think our third string maybe is good.
Yeah.
So, but they've got confidence coming in.
I think a football team with confidence is always a scary sight, right?
And I think Rudolph's considered to be a fast guy. I don't know how fast he is. I haven't seen his 40 time, but I mean, that's their top receiver. He's supposed to be a speedster.
Yeah.
So the question is, if I'm coming to this game and I'm Hammock, my first choice is I'm going to probably call a play where I'm going to try and see if he can get deep on some separation. I'm going to take a shot deep.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell my quarterback, if it's open and he gets separation, hit him.
Yeah.
If not, throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like, don't force a bad ball into this defense. Don't give Xavier Watts a pick six or Aiden Schuler don't give any of these guys a pick six coming in. But I'm going to take that shot early and try and stretch the field.
Nice play action pass. Is that what you're thinking? Or just dropping back right off the bat?
I'm maybe a play action, but I'm gonna take a shot deep early.
Yeah.
First or second play, and probably first play. I'm just gonna try and send that message.
Yeah.
Even if I tell my quarterback overthrow him, just don't turn the ball over that first play.
Yeah.
Stretch the defense, make us think they're gonna take those shots, and then I'm gonna probably run the ball a lot. And
gotta run the ball.
And I'm gonna break out the trick plays. I'm gonna I'm gonna go Little Giants. I'm gonna run annexation of Puerto Rico. I'm gonna run Statue of Liberty, like
double pass,
flea flicker. I'm gonna do all the trick plays I've got
to
just try and take advantage and be unconventional. Because again, they've got nothing to lose. They're 28.5-point dogs.
Yeah, the line's kind of shifted. It was 30 points to open up the week. We're now down to 28, depending on where you get it. So it's been shifting down, I guess. But I mean, 2 points.
So what's the over under?
Over under is at 44.5.
44.5. So they're saying 10 to 32 is the final score, roughly.
I mean,
10-34.
35-10 would be.
35-10 would be that.
45 so, I mean, with the over.
That's what Vegas is predicting the score to be, but Vegas also predicted us to lose by 3.
Yeah.
Week 1, right?
Right.
So
or 38-10, I guess we get you the over and the cover.
So yeah, I mean, you're expected to lose this game. You're expected to lose it by 4 scores. You've got nothing to lose. It's NIU's first game on national television. I think they've had some regionally aired games on ABC in the past, but this is their first game on national.
Yeah, they play mostly on ESPN Plus. So
yeah, so man, you've got nothing but upside here. Let it all hang out. Take your shots. Keep the kids loose. Like you said, if you can stay in this game, and I think trickeration's how they stay in this game if they're going to stay in it.
Yeah.
And I think running the ball a lot, do not run up tempo. We've already shown against A&M, we were going 3 and 4 deep. I mean, we were heavy rotation and we weren't struggling to keep up with A&M. They didn't have great plays because our third string was in there. And you could go play after play. So if I'm looking at it, I look at what's on the A&M film, I'm not going to try and go quick and get us wore out. I'm gonna try and slow the game down. I'm gonna run to the last second of the play clock. I'm gonna try and run the ball, but keep away, right?
Yeah.
Notre Dame's offense can't score if they don't have the ball.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to try and run stretch plays, trick plays, just off balance, keep people guessing. And
Definitely.
I'm going to go whatever their offensive tendencies are. I'm going to throw that out the book, and I'm going to go down to my local 7-on-7 flag football league and see what they got drawn up for trick plays.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm going to go deep in that pocket if I'm at NIU.
Yeah, I think you have to. And I mean, it sounds crazy as a coach, like abandon what you've been doing, because obviously I'm assuming like we said, we didn't watch the game last week. We're just reading about it. It sounds like they were. I mean, you put up, what was it, 54 points?
Yeah.
You're not putting up 54 points running the ball every play and taking your sweet old time going down the field.
Again, 11
Yeah.
guys caught balls,
Yeah.
700 yards total offense. Like
It's not a
18 for 20 in the passing.
right.
They couldn't draw up a play that didn't work.
Right.
Like it just everything worked, and I'd like to know what those 2 incompletions were. Like was one an intentional grounding?
Yeah.
You know, was
They spiked the ball before halftime.
spiking the ball? Yeah, so get a kickoff right before the half. I don't know, but it just seems like everything they did worked, and I don't know if that's that they're that good or Western Illinois is just not that good. I'm not familiar with Western Illinois, so
Yeah.
I can't speak on them. I can't hate on them.
Yeah, I knew one person who went there, transferred after 1 year. So that's my
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yep, exactly. So missed home, I think it was. So that's the only reason I heard of Western Illinois before this. So, but yeah, can't get away from a team though with confidence. I mean, like we said, Western Illinois is not good, but quarterback coming in 18 for 20, and then also you got to remember this is probably a game Coach Hemmick's used to recruit, right? He's telling
Oh
kids,
yeah.
I mean, we're going to Notre Dame Stadium. You want to play on the biggest stage? Yeah, you're not getting these big time offers. You're gonna have a national televised game. You can go show the world what you're about, but then you get that NFL stock up a little bit.
Yeah, and there's some guys in the MAC that make it to the NFL every year.
Yeah.
There's guys in MAC schools that could start
all
Notre Dame.
pros.
Yeah, I mean
Become all pros in the NFL and make the Hall of Fame.
those guys exist. Now the depth is not there typically, but
Yeah.
Hammock may have some depth. I mean, from what I'm seeing, it seems like he's got some depth. So we'll see. I still think Notre Dame wins this game. I think defense is going to continue to be our strength. And, I mean, just there were some plays during the A&M game from the defense. I mean, there was a Heinisch run, like run down the quarterback about 3 minutes into the game. It was just I almost thought he was going to horse collar the guy going out of bounds, but he didn't. Bowen, there's some clips of Bowen just covering some crazy ground. KVA got in. He played like big minutes. I mean, Aiden Schuler, he showed up, and we know he was a breakout star. And he showed up. Xavier Watts did what Xavier Watts does. BMO, one pass breakup. He about had an interception. Christian Gray about had a pass. Like maybe Christian Gray 1 or 2 plays. He wasn't quite in position, but overall solid. Like I think our defense is going to keep those guys from being able to do anything conventional very well. I think trickeration is their key. Yeah, as you're Northern Illinois watching that Notre Dame film, I just don't know where you see the ball getting thrown. Like what coverage you like to see. I mean, it just seems like the Irish secondaries look like they're in midseason form. I hate to say no-fly zone, but they got a lot of no-fly zone looks. So I don't know how good you feel about your quarterback in that matchup, how good you feel about your receivers getting separation, but they're going to find out real fast if that week 1 win was fact or fiction. And then, I think offensively, our line, they grew up that game. I mean, they grew up, and I think that we now got more than 6 starts on the offensive line. We're up to 11. We're up to 11. So stayed healthy too. Yeah, they stayed healthy. They played good, and as the game went on, they got settled in, and big moments came, and they delivered. Moments. So Denbrock's just about to. I think he's about to unlock. What I'm really expecting to see is I really expect us to see Notre Dame put the hammer down and just go full throttle. I think we're going to try and score fast. I think if NIU can keep it close, they will keep it close for maybe a quarter and a half. And then I think then it's going to be the attrition. Like they're just going to be wore down. And we're just going to hit them in waves, and we're going to get that second. I want to see whoever QB2 is, Angeli. I want to see him start the second half. Like I think it definitely will be interesting because I think the one thing we can take away from Notre Dame last week is we had a slow start. So what do you think the message has been all week? Oh, it's got to be start fast. But if I'm Denbrock, I'm not going to go into A&M in that hostile environment with a new line and try and start fast. Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. But what do you think? I'm just saying the team model coming into this week is we got to start fast. We got to. That's what it is. Hammer down. We're not in the meeting rooms, but I guarantee that's what's being said. Hey, 6-6 at halftime last week. Onward. Offense has to figure this out. Onward Notre Dame. If you can't put points up on Western or Northern Illinois, this is not the. This defense is not littered with the NFL talent that A&M was. Especially in the front. I think I think the front seven of A&M, I think 4 or 5 of those guys were 5 stars.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a 5-star on NIU.
No.
I'm not even sure there's a 4-star on NIU.
Yeah.
Good players, just not highly ranked and highly ranked recruits. So yeah, it's got to be come out, go fast, score points, and score points all kinds of different ways. I don't think you're going to show a whole lot play wise. I think you're going to keep the playbook simple.
It's interesting though, this little stretch we've got, because we've got this NIU game, we've got Purdue, and then Miami, Ohio.
Yeah,
it's 3 games to get the offense going. But like you said, what game? I mean, you're all base packages, you think, in these 3?
I think it is. You don't have to break out and do anything special. You should be able to do base package, and you should be able to win these next 3 games.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to go deep into the playbook. You shouldn't have to show anything that is going to tip the hat to Louisville, right?
Yeah.
You should have some things that you're working on in practice that Louisville's not going to see until game day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the RPO, I think those kind of things are all going to those are going to be there. Running Riley Leonard, I think you're going to see. I would hope you see less of that. I mean,
that'll be interesting.
In a big game, when it's on the line, get that advantage of running your quarterback. I hope we don't see a lot of that versus NIU, because that tells me things aren't going well.
At least when he's sliding, or you know what I mean. He's not going to go take those hits. Is kind of my take on it. I don't mind. Because his legs are a strength, but I would like to see him getting a little bit of a flow throwing the ball. But I also know he gets into the game by running the ball. So
yeah, I mean, you got to get it going.
Some confidence. So.
And he played basketball. Shooters got to shoot.
Yeah, I saw some highlights of him for the first time the other day playing basketball. I was like, that.
He was a good ball player.
Dude can get up too.
He's not Caitlin Clark, but he's a good ball player.
I mean, that dude can get up. That's all I gotta say. A little respect on that one.
Yeah, he'll surprise you. So, I mean, I'd like him in whatever squad he runs with in the 5-on-5 basketball, the bookstore basketball tournament.
So, I mean,
so hey, maybe Coach Shrewsbury needs some help.
Yeah.
Riley's got
after the national championship.
Riley's got some time come late January.
Yeah.
He could help him make a run.
All right. Well, I got some sad news. Yeah. Parlay did not hit last week.
Oh.
Sad times. But don't worry. We got a winner this week.
Oh, you got a winner? All right.
Yep.
What do you got in the parlay?
So obviously it's a smaller game this week, so props are not out as of Wednesday night as we're recording this. So I don't know if there will be any touchdown score props this week. If so, I'll be on those a little bit. But here's my parlay for the week. We've got the over 44.5.
I like that.
We've got Notre Dame first quarter over 7.5. So to score over 7.5 points in that first quarter.
I take that.
That parlay gets me to plus 210.
Really?
Yep.
That's a solid parlay.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's got to come out, like we said, starting fast. So I'm gonna take the Irish here. They're scoring a touchdown and then a field goal or another touchdown in that first quarter, which it sounds super easy, but obviously it depends if you don't get that opening kickoff, you don't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah,
but I think this Notre Dame offense is really going to be stepping up the tempo this week. That's why I like it.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to score, and they're going to score fast.
Yeah,
it would surprise me again if NIU comes out and tries to do what they do offensively.
Yep,
we don't get a turnover early.
Yeah,
they may think that our cornerbacks aren't as good as they think they are, and they're going to test them. And
yeah,
but I think our cornerbacks are better. I think our defense may be better than I expected coming into the season.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice little 2-leg parlay plus 210 though. I got to get a winner in there,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I like the over this week. I'm going to be honest. I think Notre Dame's really going to try to make a statement. I know I saw Coach Reedman's press conference talking to Jim Tressel about 10 minutes before. He said, got a phone call, and Tressel basically said, when you think everything's going right, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So I think Freeman's really been thinking about that one and realizing, because there's been a lot of positive talk about Notre Dame in the media, which I've been like, what's going on? Why is this happening?
Yeah,
right?
We're hitting love, and we're not used to it.
Yeah, we're not used to it, especially this early in the season. Obviously, we beat an SEC team that media is very high on, but just Notre Dame's getting a lot of love. So it's but I know the second anything sort of slips, it'll be break loose on Notre Dame. So
Vegas has a 3-point dog, but end of the day, it was the number 7 team in the country beating the number 20 team in the country.
Exactly.
By
10.
And
by the way, I was 1 point off on my score prediction. I had 24-14 last week.
But that field goal late in the game was really, kind of an icer, but it wasn't necessary. They could have very easily I mean, they under 2 minutes when they scored the touchdown, they could have very easily just ran the ball out.
Yeah.
And take a field goal late and won it by 3. So it was a 10-point win, but it wasn't a dominant 10-point win. So plenty of things that Marcus Freeman, hopefully he pulls a Lou Holtz. And you don't remember classic Lou Holtz, but I can tell you. On Monday, the story was Lou Holtz would go into the team and he would have them convinced there's no way they could win the game.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, he'd say, well, maybe if you do some things well, you have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
On Wednesday, I'm feeling good. We got a game plan. We might have a chance.
Mhm.
And then by Thursday, he's like, hey guys, there's a really good shot at this. And then by Friday, he had these guys convinced there's no way they could lose.
Yeah.
And that was a classic, Lou Holtz coaching strategy. He'd tear you down on Monday and he'd build you up through the week. And by Friday night, there was just no way you could lose going into a Saturday game. So maybe Marcus Freeman, between Tressel and Lou Holtz's advice, maybe he's going to follow that same path and keep these guys humble, keep them hungry, and then get them, wound up. And they need to come out fast. In fact, if we don't win this game by 28 points, I'm gonna consider it a disappointment.
Yeah.
If we win it by 3, it's a disappointment.
Yeah. All right. So we're kind of talking about. Let's get into score predictions. You got one for this week yet?
I've thought about this long and hard, and originally coming in, I was thinking we're gonna. I would probably put us in that 10-35 category, but I'm really thinking more and more that Denbrock is going to want to score and score a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to get bold here. I'm going to call it 17-52.
52. What'd you say?
17-52 Irish. I think we're going to put up 7 touchdowns and 1 field goal. And I think the field goal is going to be just for fun at the end of a quarter.
Yeah, I've got 45-7 the Irish.
Okay. So we're both thinking high scores.
Yeah, but I just think Denbrock, like you said, we're gonna score some points this week. I think they're definitely happy with the performance and how that game progressed last week, because I don't think it was a game that's going to have a lot of points. We talked about going into it last week. It wasn't a game that's going to be a shootout. We knew it was going to be a defensive battle.
Yeah.
We both projected it was going to be a low-scoring first half, probably tied, if not a 3-point game. And I think the coaching staff probably, like you talk about coaching staff having a plan for the game. They're telling the kid, a lot of the great coaches out there telling them, it's going to be a close game in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go out and win it in the second half, though. And I think that was probably the message last week. It's going to be a dogfight.
Well, I mean, you saw Freeman, the highlight video stuff. I mean, he's telling those guys coming off the field, I told you.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
Like he had a vision for them and how the game was going to go, and it followed that. He was able to sell
I don't think any of the coaches
control.
I don't think any of the coaches last week thought this was going to be a 49-42 shootout. This week, I think the game that they're telling them, we're putting up points this week.
Yeah,
and there's no if, when, or but. It's happening right off the bat.
Golden's saying we're not giving up a point.
Yeah.
And Denbrock's saying we're scoring 100.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're scoring every drive.
Irish by 1,000,000 is probably the message. And the other thing I think was interesting, I think we saw Marcus Freeman get a signature win. And I think we seen Marcus Freeman grow up as a coach last week.
Yeah.
Two things like we talked about right there just a second ago when he told the team at the end of the game, I told you.
Yeah.
The other thing was, the pregame. He come out of the tunnel, and your mom and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. He had these 4 young linemen who never played walk into this hostile crowd, and their eyes were big, and they were a little shell shocked. He just turned it on and just become that. You thought he was going to go out and play starting linebacker.
Oh,
he was
ready to.
He ramped it up and just. What you could just see his confidence, and he just exuded that confidence. You could just see the team, like especially those linemen standing behind him, like they got confident, and they and it was like, as a coach, man, he's genuine, he connects, and I think he's grown up. So
I do think. Do you think that's going to become an every game thing where he's getting guys' face? You think it's going to be a game by game basis?
I think it's situation by situation. I think he knows when to put on the gas, when to put on the brake, and that was a situation he had to put on the gas.
Yeah, I'm just going to and at what point do you think? So if this is a close game, do you think you just don't? He's a very emotional guy. That's my one thing about Marcus Freeman. You can tell when he's upset, though, right?
Oh yeah, but he's genuine.
Yeah,
right? I mean, he's not. It's not fake. It's not his family. I mean, it's genuine.
Yeah.
I mean, we can pick on Brian Kelly for a minute. And I hate to do that, but when Brian Kelly got mad at the LSU loss and he slammed on the table, I think that was more theater than reality.
Right.
He was upset, but not as upset as he pretended.
Yeah.
But it was to get the narrative change from the media, that he can't win the big game because he's okay with Game Brian, not big Game Brian.
Yeah.
And it was to motivate his team, and he's a mastermind at that. I think differently than that, Freeman's just a genuine guy, and I think in the moment he knew what his team needed because he's a leader.
Yeah. And I think he was genuinely that fired up too.
But he was fired up.
Yeah.
But he was fired up because his team needed to be fired up.
Yeah.
So I got a kick. I think your mom got a kick when she saw the interview and I got a call from my wife, and she put him in check. Your mom likes a wife that puts the husband in check. I don't know why. I get put in check all the time. But I love you, honey.
Yeah. Shout out.
So anyway, I think it'll be interesting. I think we're on the same page. We expect the Irish to come out and try and just
think it'll be a
flex the
fun game.
muscles offensively, and it should be a fun game. So
Yeah.
weather's going to be a little cooler this week.
Yeah, so I was going to get into that. Weather at kickoff's looking like it's going to be 64 degrees. So for us people down there in the old South Texas, we got about a 30-degree, 35-degree real field temp difference there from kickoff. So that's just welcome to Indiana.
Yeah, it's way cooler than I expected. The first.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of years, the first game's been absolutely hot in South Bend. We've been sweating bullets out there, but
not A&M sweating.
Not A&M sweating, no kidding. But SeatGeek, this game is sold out, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I will be interested to see the NIU support there. It's not a far drive, a couple hours from campus, so
less than 200 miles.
Yeah,
probably three hours.
So yeah, this game is sold out on UND.com, but the SeatGeek I was looking at right before we got on, $58 for some seats to get in. I was thinking for two. There's a few of those out there, but a lot were in that $70 to $80 range. So great chance to get out to Notre Dame Stadium, especially if you want to see some offensive points. Take a younger kid to her first game. Definitely sweatshirt, sweatpants kind of weather this week. It's not going to be murdering hot, not going to be cold. I'm looking for a nice Notre Dame fall blue-gray sky out there. Go check out the Golden.
I think we're going to have sun. I don't think
you're going to have some sun.
I think it's going to be sun.
Okay, I was seeing some chance for some clouds. So
I thought it was rain early and then turning partly sunny, but we'll see.
Either way, not going to be super hot one. Great chance to get out, check out campus for the first time. Player walk, 1:30, right?
1:30, 2 hours.
2 hours before kickoff. So yeah, go check that out. Be a great time for it. Games on NBC this week, not Peacock. So all you watching at home,
yes, you can watch it.
You can watch it on NBC.
Yeah, and yeah, it should be a good game. Good home opener is always fun, especially after a tough road victory.
Yeah,
I about said loss. A tough road victory. It's really gonna. Emotion should be high. There's gonna be the casual fans
team in the country.
that are gonna be just they're talking about lighting up Grace Hall this weekend or whatever. So
yeah,
so it'll be good. It'll be good atmosphere. So looking forward to the game. We'll try and give you a full team report over the weekend of our experience in the home game. And your mom talked about it yesterday. We're going to have some friends go with us. We got some family members that are going to the game we're going to hook up with. And so it should be a good time, should be entertaining, and should be a great experience. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just always ready to get on campus and watch a game.
Definitely.
So then it's football season. NFL starts this week, right?
NFL tomorrow night. We got games Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, Monday this weekend for the NFL. Yeah. So we've got some guys in the Irish in the NFL kicking off their season as soon as tomorrow. We got the Ravens.
Yeah, and we got
the Chiefs.
Kyle Hamilton, and we got Stanley.
For the Ravens.
Ronnie Stanley on the Ravens, and you got
Drew Tranquill on the Chiefs.
So safety and linebacker and left tackle.
Yeah, guys making plays all over the field is what I hear. I mean, those are some obviously Notre Dame fan favorites. Kyle Hamilton, Drew Tranquill, obviously on the defensive side of the ball, and then Ronnie Stanley on that offensive line. A lot of guys that made a lot of plays in Notre Dame.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of guys that made a lot of plays.
A lot of guys that made some. Yeah.
And a lot of guys that made plays in the NFL and made some great money too.
And Stanley was a phenomenal lineman and didn't get the respect maybe he could have or should have because he was with
it's a loaded offensive
line.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Big Q Nelson, you had freaking Martin that. I think they all signed their second contract, and I don't remember how many $100 million those guys are worth as a collective group.
Yeah.
But they hopefully they've given a little bit back to the school, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's not a lot of guys from the fantasy league that I would dip into at this point if you're into fantasy.
Yeah, if you're looking for Irish in the NFL fantasy leagues, that's a little bit tougher.
Yeah,
right now.
I would.
Depends what size league you're in. Maybe if you're in a 16.
I would stay away. I would stay away from picking up a lot of guys because linebackers, cornerbacks,
guys not playing in fantasy,
defensive ends. Those guys aren't going to be fantasy point getters.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams, running back, he might do you some good.
Yeah, later. Or I mean, not later. Geez, Kyron. Yeah, as long as he can stay healthy, I think that's going to be the question for him in the NFL. Just his size and everything. He's electric as all get out. Kyron's one of my favorite Notre Dame running backs. I've seen, but NFL they hit harder. They're big guys.
If he can stay healthy,
he'll be great. So
and then you might have to go Blake Groupie as a kicker, but he's not your top choice.
Yeah,
Aubrey at Dallas is your soccer player turn kicker. Maybe your best decision if you're looking for somebody to be on the Irish roster.
Yeah,
we got Big Drick, who's going to be a running back at Denver.
Yeah, got the jersey change, number 23.
I think he's a solid pick, but I wouldn't start him week 1. I'd wait till week 7 or 8 before I give him the nod.
Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong there.
Definitely one I like though. Cole Kmet picks up a good quarterback in Caleb Williams. Obviously, that USC to Notre Dame connection will be interesting, but I'm high on Caleb Williams and the Bears getting the start. So I think Cole Kmet could be interesting.
Yeah, he could really pop.
And he's put up some big weeks. He hasn't been a consistent fantasy football player, but he's had some big weeks. So having a quarterback and getting the ball.
Well, he's been at the Bears, and
Yeah.
the Bears haven't had a quarterback since Jim McMahon, and even that's arguable if they had a quarterback then.
Yeah.
And, hey, I was all about the 84-85 Bears in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? Super Bowl shuffle signed me up. So, so I think Cole Kmet's going to benefit tremendously from Caleb Williams of all people.
Yeah.
But hey, he didn't do any damage to us his last year at USC. I'm okay with that. I wish him all the success.
Caleb Williams does not seem to have a problem throwing the ball to Notre Dame players, is what I've learned.
That's true. That's true. He does like Notre Dame guys. So, and hey, I am all for the Bears having a great season. I'm all for like Cole Kmet having a breakout year. So
yeah,
we're all for it.
Tommy Tremble down, I think, still in Carolina.
Yep.
Struggled last year a little bit. Just Panthers were terrible, so that's probably mostly anything. Michael Mayer out in Vegas, another guy. Interesting though, they picked up Brock Bowers. I think we're not sure if Brock Bowers might be playing week 1. I think he's questionable. I
think he's questionable for an injury. So
yeah, Michael Mayer. Obviously, those two are considered the best tight ends in America 2 years ago. Obviously, Brock Bowers is a rookie this year, so definitely an interesting pickup for the Raiders. Didn't love that for the Michael Mayer fan collective. I want to be a part of. So yeah, don't love that he got picked up there, but I think he's still a really good tight end. And I always thought he's better than Brock Bowers. He can do more than just catch. He can go block and play in the run game as well.
Yeah, I felt he was more complete tight end, even though Bowers was in the offense. It gave you more.
I guess Brock Bowers has injury problems, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, that could be. I don't know. Maybe he's holding out for a rookie contract.
Yeah, no kidding.
Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
I didn't either. So yeah, I'd stay away from Irish in your fantasy leagues for the most part. I wouldn't get too deep into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of that season. It's that time of year. We're ready to go. So not a whole lot left to cover on this NIU game.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this weekend, getting out there. Definitely going to be enjoying these Notre Dame fall weather this weekend. I'm going to be looking more forward to wearing sweats and sweatpants to a football game this weekend.
And so if you're not a football fan, I think, there's some other Notre Dame sports going on.
Yeah.
We're into the swing. Women's soccer is kicking off, and I think they've got 4-1 as their record.
Yeah, they're off to a hot start.
I think they got a freshman that's just
tearing it up.
Goals.
Yeah.
Men's soccer is off to a good start. They're 0-2, not a win, not a loss, but
two great ties.
Akron and IU. If you know anything about collegiate soccer, those are two solid programs.
Yep.
And Notre Dame had a good run last year, lost Clemson in the Final Four.
Elite Eight or Final Four, I can't remember right now.
It was either Elite. So
went deep in the tournament though.
They went deep in the tournament. So soccer's looking strong coming in.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got.
Volleyball, I think we're off to a hot start.
Volleyball's 2-0 right now. So yeah, I think some of the other sports are getting ready to kick in and start their fall activity this week or the next week. So yeah, if you're not a football fan, there's some other sports you can pay attention.
Yeah, a lot of those games are free if you're in the South Bend area. So
yeah, and a lot of those games, if they're on football weekends, they're on the Friday or the Sunday after or whatever. If you're in the neighborhood, you can literally just show up to those events and get in. So and the soccer atmosphere is usually really good.
Yeah,
so
it's a good time.
I would recommend if you like soccer at all, go see it. If you love defensive football, soccer's kind of the same thing. you might see a 1 or 2 point game.
Yeah.
But yeah, soccer's an interesting sport. You gotta once you learn to appreciate soccer, it's a great sport.
It's a beautiful game.
It is a beautiful game. So yeah, that's kind of it. I think that kind of hits this episode. Anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that's it on my end. Just go Irish and let's get out there and enjoy the game this weekend and talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, if you see us at the game, say hi.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, talk to you
We
later.
hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.